Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So this video is going to focus on the EFF marching to the Premier's office in the Northern Cape because they want Orania completely dismantled. You know, currently in South Africa we are facing a lot of issues, and according to the EFF, Orania is a top priority. You know, unemployment, not so much, crime, not so much, crumbling infrastructure, not so much. You know, what is really important is Orania and bringing them down. That's important. So let's hear what the EFF has to say. So the EFF is to march against the existence of Orania. Yeah, that sounds great. They say EFF members in the Northern Cape are expected to march to Premier Zamani Saul's office on Tuesday to protest against the existence of Orania. Party members said the town's existence to preserve Afrikaner culture was a smokescreen for a hidden agenda to preserve apartheid ideologies, with the hope that someday apartheid will be the order of the day. Yeah, tell me you know nothing about Orania by making a statement like that. South Africa is a sovereign state and cannot allow for the autonomy of various groupings and the creation of interstates based on false claims of preserving culture, which is already protected and provided for in the Constitution of the Republic, said the EFF in the Northern Cape. Allowing such settlement arrangements within a sovereign state has already led to calls by various other groupings for their own independence based on ethnicity and culture. Well, I would highly recommend that the EFF go and read our constitution, because our constitution actually does cover this quite clearly. Under chapter 14.235, self-determination, it says, the right of the South African people as a whole to self-determination as manifested in the Constitution does not preclude, within the framework of this right, recognition of the notion of the right of self-determination of any community sharing a common cultural and language heritage within a territorial entity in the Republic or in any other way determined by national legislation. So there it is. It's protected in the Constitution. So not sure if the EFF wants to change the Constitution, but it is in the Constitution. They also go further to say the party argued that Orania, a predominantly Afrikaans enclave with an estimated population of 3,000, undermines national unity and perpetuates ideologies reminiscent of the apartheid era. Well, that's simply not true, because unlike during apartheid, when cheap labor was used by and cheap labor was predominantly black individuals, in Orania the people build everything there themselves, and you are also not excluded from going to Orania regardless of your race. There are many people that have gone and shot documentaries there, and they were welcomed, and 99% of the people, predominantly black and colored and other races that went there, said that they felt welcomed. They appreciated the purpose of the town, which was to protect Afrikaans culture and Afrikanerdom. Now, I'm not sure what the problem with that is, but apparently the EFF's got a problem. The EFF asserted that this kind of socio-political model directly contradicts South Africa's constitutional principles of equality, inclusivity, and non-racialism, core values of the country's democracy. Now, I'm not sure how Orania's existence threatens equality, inclusivity, and non-racialism. I don't understand that. Maybe the EFF can give us more information on that. The EFF provincial chairperson Shadrach Klahole reportedly stated that the party is prepared to confront the situation in Orania. Yeah, God help you if you decide to go to Orania, because it's going to make Brackenfell look like a picnic for all of you. He emphasized that the issue being raised by the EFF is a serious national concern, because apparently there's no other big issues in South Africa. The biggest issue for the EFF is the existence of Orania. That requires the attention and involvement of both black and white South Africans. Okay, buddy. We are taking our march and continuing with our march to the Premier's office, demanding what we have said, and that will continue. Orania should be abolished, and Orania is not what we should appreciate and accept as the EFF. Klahole said. Okay, well, good luck. Here is a video where they announce their march. Let's have a little listen.
Revolutionary greetings, Makabani, Aka Julius Malema. My name is Franz Meyer from the Northern Cape, Kimberley in particular. I serve as a public rep in the institution of Salt Lake Municipality. On the 22nd of April 2025, we are going to go and march to the OTP, which means the Office of the Premier, to demand a review of Orania. Tina, as the EFF and the young people of the Northern Cape, are fully behind the stance of the EFF mother body in the Northern Cape, to say that we can never be party to a government that is allowing a segregation within our province. We are going to advocate for total eradication of Orania in our province. Mandla.
Like you can see, he doesn't even believe what he's saying. He's just trying to get political points so that hopefully the EFF can gift him with a councillor seat or a member of parliament seat. I mean, it's so sickening. Anyway, just a quick thing for the EFF that you might want to look into. The Ingonyama Trust, right? So the Ingonyama Trust is for the tribes and communities in KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. The trust holds and manages land primarily for the material benefit, welfare and social well-being of the communities living on that land. The Zulu monarch, acting as the sole trustee, is responsible for overseeing the trust's operations. So they have got 2.8 million hectares of land in KwaZulu-Natal, which was previously owned by the KwaZulu-Natal government. The beneficiaries, well, the trust's mandate is to ensure that this land is managed for the benefit of the members of the traditional communities living on it. Right. So the EFF seems to have a problem with Orania, which in essence is doing exactly the same thing as the Ingonyama Trust. But the EFF is not talking or saying anything about the Ingonyama Trust, which it's 2.8 million hectares. And they have a problem with this little town, 900 kilometers from Cape Town and about 700 kilometers from Pretoria. The EFF has got a problem with this little town in the middle of nowhere that allows anybody to come and visit them and experience Orania, and apparently that's a problem. But the Ingonyama Trust is not a problem. Once again, the double standards that exist here. And once again, just to go back to the Constitution provides for self-determination, and that is exactly what the people of Orania is doing. Now, if Orania prevented black people from coming into the town and they used black individuals as labor, but then they couldn't stay there the night and they had to leave, then I would have a completely different opinion. But it's quite clear that the EFF is choosing their battles, and they are choosing the caucus battles to fight. Because out of all of South Africa's problems right now, they are hell-bent on trying to belittle, insult and attack Afrikanerdom and Afrikaans culture. You can see that by them singing kill the boer, kill the farmer, them wanting to go to Orania to threaten people that are just minding their own businesses and assimilating with their own culture, just like the Ingonyama Trust is doing. But yet Orania is always the ones that get headlines in the news, gets attacked by political parties, and nobody says a thing about the Ingonyama Trust. It's just the double standards that once again exists. Let people be. If they're not harming anybody, if they are living on private property that they've purchased and they want to practice their religion, their cultural rights that is enshrined in our Constitution, then let it be. But let me tell you one thing to the EFF. If you decide to march to Orania, I would highly recommend that you do it in the most peaceful way possible, because Orania, hulle vat die kakkie. So if you're going to go there with a cock attitude and with the intention to cause damage or to cause harm, then, like I said, it's going to make Brackenfell look like a picnic. So choose your battles very, very carefully. And this is not a threat. This is just saying that we know how the EFF marches. They always want to cause violence. They are always causing damage to properties whenever they march. Look at Discam, look at Clicks. There are so many examples of when the EFF has marched against businesses that they cause damages. If they try that at Orania, julle gaan kak. That's all I can say. Anyway, so good luck going to the Premier's office, and I'm sure the Premier will hopefully direct you to Section 235 under Chapter 14 of the Constitution of South Africa that talks about self-determination. And if you can't read and you still want to go and march to Orania, then may the odds be ever in your favor, because it's not going to end well. And that's pretty much all I got to say, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button. Please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to share this video far and wide, especially on WhatsApp, on your community groups. That'll be greatly appreciated. Lastly, if you support me and this channel, then you can consider becoming a member. You can do that by clicking the join button below, and that will cost you R39.99 a month, and that's in support of me and this channel. And that's all I got to say. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.